This is the first step to being able to use SPSS from your home computer. Now the first step actually has nothing to do with SPSS. It simply downloads a program called Citrix to your home computer. This is important because this basically needs to run in the background to create a virtual environment so that you can use some of the software from the uni, and in particular, in this case, we want to use SPSS. So remember, this is just step one and it doesn't get you SPSS, but it's a necessary first step. So the first thing you need to do is go to the link to download Citrix. And you can find this on the Flow web page. So if you go to here, then you'll find that there are various workspace apps for Windows, or if you've got a Mac, further down there are various apps that you can use. So you can try and find one that's most suitable for you, but probably it's likely to be the one that relates to 2002. So that's the one that I would use. Obviously, if you use something like iOS or Linux, you probably know what you're doing and you're not going to have any problems here. But for most of us, it will either be using the Workspace app for Windows or it's going to be the Workspace app for Mac, and it just depends on what computer you have at home. So I've got a Windows, so I'm going to click on the Workspace app for Windows, and I simply just go download Citrix Workspace app for Windows. It will come up with this particular dialog box, and all I do is I want to save the file, and this will actually be saving it into your downloads window, and so this will take some time. And I'm going to fast forward the video and move to the spot where it's finally fully loaded. Okay, and as they would say in a cooking show, here's one I prepared earlier. Well, what you can see here is that it's completed the download, and I can just click on this to actually open the file. It will then ask you if you want to allow this app to make changes to your device, and you have to click yes. If you choose no, then it won't do anything and it won't work. And then you essentially just go through the license agreement. So accept the license agreement. I don't know whether you need app protection, so I didn't bother. So like all things, we basically wait for this to install, and once it's installed, I'll start the video again. So if we see this sign, installation successful, we know that it's worked. And at this point, just click on finish. You don't want to set up an account. It basically says you must restart your computer to complete the installation. So you can decide what you want to do. I'm going to say no. You will probably want to say yes, but make sure that you've closed down everything else. I will just make one point at the end. Now you've successfully downloaded Citrix. The key is that you never open Citrix. There's no point in doing it. If you do it, it will ask you for your email address. You can type it in, but it just won't recognize it. It won't work. What you need to do is to try to access the virtual app site at Flinders and log on that way. So what you need to do is go through step 2 all the time. That's the way that you access SPSS. So this is where most people have been going wrong. And if you feel any better, I made this mistake when I first downloaded the Citrix software. So it's a common mistake, but we're going to avoid that in the future. So that's it. And you can go straight on to step 2, although you probably need to restart your computer first if you haven't done that, just so that the Citrix software can actually work.